so-called refugees being flown into this country under the guise of, humanitarian causes. We know, you're active with law enforcement in Pennsylvania. What can you tell us about the refugee situation in Pennsylvania?
Well, I can tell you that the majority of people in Pennsylvania are against the unvetted and undocumented refugees coming in from Syria. Most of the people believe, as we do in law enforcement, that unless they are vetted correctly, it has ramifications on our national security and will impact our local communities.
And do we know how they're getting into the state? Do we know if there are any restrictions on their movement, or are they just flown in and kind of given a carte blanche to do whatever they'd like?
Well, I can also tell you this. There are two different petitions floating right now in the State House. The Senate and also the House of Representatives have both filed petitions against the actions of our governor in the state of Pennsylvania. And regardless of those actions, because Pennsylvania is not one of the states that has told the federal government that they will not accept refugees, refugees have been flooding into the state. What we have noticed and witnessed, eyewitness accounts, and also some videos and pictures, they have been coming in at night, wee hours of the night, on UPS planes. The UPS and dropping off the refugees, and they are being picked up by bus. But a week and a half ago, there were actually 2 UPS planes that flew into Harrisburg Airport. 30 busloads of refugees were picked up and scattered throughout the state.
Mm-hmm. Wow. So the rumors we've heard about UPS are true.
They are absolutely true. Yes.
In the dead of night.
The thing is, yeah, what we're getting, and I'm again law enforcement and also part of the Pennsylvania Oath Keepers. What a lot of our guys have been doing is tracking some of the movement, and we've also found out that most of these refugees are actually being brought in on taxpayer dollars and giving to different faith-based organizations within the state. What these faith-based organizations then do is they take the tax dollars and they set the refugees up for housing in different locations throughout the state. Allentown, Pennsylvania is one of the hot spots, and so is the city of Pittsburgh, for these refugees. And the faith-based organizations, again, the Catholic Charities, some of the Lutheran groups, some of the Methodist groups that are bringing these people in, are actually giving them cash, setting them up with clothes, food, shelter, and actually putting them into different neighborhoods on the behest of some of the residents.
Marcus, thank you. This is Denise. What are the mayors having to say, particularly, say, in Pittsburgh or Allentown? Because this is really going to come down to once the refugees are somewhat established, I think, in the first 60 days, then they're necessarily handed off to the entitlement programs of that county and that city. So it ends up that the mayor's got to kind of manage this thing. Are the mayors prepared for this? Have they been given a heads up? Do they have certain rules they're going to have to follow from here on out?
Well, from our investigation and talking to other law enforcement officers within the state, the mayors are actually on board with this. That's Governor Tom Wolf is the governor of Pennsylvania, of course. He has worked with the Obama administration on bringing these people into Pennsylvania, again, for money. And the mayors that have signed on to it are definitely being padded with tax dollars also. So the mayors in these communities, the ones that are accepting these refugees, are accepting them with open arms.